Have you ever heard the story of the monster who lived in the river? This is an ancient tale from the Nandi people of East Africa, a story about a brave young warrior, a clever old woman, and a terrifying beast. So gather round, get comfortable, and let me tell you the legend of the fearsome Kamosit. In a beautiful village nestled by a wide, winding river, there lived a community that was happy and prosperous. They fished in the river, drew water from its banks, and their children played near its cool, clear edges. But one day, a shadow fell over their peaceful existence. A monstrous creature, the Kamosit, had made its home in the deepest part of the river. The Kamosit was a terrifying sight. It was said to have one fiery red eye that glowed in the dark, a single leg, and a mouth so large it could swallow a cow whole. Its skin was as tough as a crocodile's hide, and its roar was like the thunder of 1,000 storms. The creature was cruel and insatiable. It began to snatch livestock that came to drink at the river's edge, and soon it grew bolder. People started disappearing. The village was gripped by fear. No one dared to go near the water anymore. The laughter of children was replaced by worried whispers, and the once bustling riverbank became eerily silent. The village elders and warriors held council after council. "We must do something," one warrior declared. "We cannot live in fear of this beast forever." They tried everything. They threw spears into the water, but the spears bounced off the monster's tough hide. They set traps along the riverbank, but the Kamosit was too cunning. It avoided them all. Each failed attempt only made the monster angrier, and it would retaliate by causing even more destruction. The village began to despair. It seemed like the monster was invincible. Now, in this village lived a young warrior named Arap Chepkwani. He was known not only for his strength and courage, but also for his sharp mind and his deep love for his people. He couldn't stand to see his village suffer. The fear in the eyes of the children and the sorrow on the faces of the elders fueled a fire in his heart. He decided that he would be the one to face the Kamosit. He went to the elders and announced his plan. "I will go and fight the monster," he said, his voice steady and firm. The elders were worried. They had already lost too many brave warriors. "It is too dangerous, Arap Chepkwani," the chief said. "The Kamosit is no ordinary beast. It has defeated every warrior who has faced it." But Arap Chepkwani was determined. "I will not let my people live in fear. There must be a way." Knowing that brute force had failed, Arap Chepkwani realized he needed a different approach. He needed wisdom. And in his village, the wisest person he knew was an old woman who lived on the edge of the community. She was a storyteller, a keeper of ancient knowledge, and it was said she understood the secrets of both the natural and the supernatural world. He went to her small hut and respectfully sat before her. "Grandmother," he began, "I'm going to fight the Kamosit. The warrior's spears and traps have failed. I come to you seeking wisdom. Is there a way to defeat this monster?" The old woman looked at him with her kind, knowing eyes. She listened patiently as he spoke of his plan and his frustrations. After a long silence, she smiled faintly. "Brave warrior," she said, her voice like the rustling of dry leaves. "You are right. Strength alone will not defeat this beast. The Kamosit is a creature of immense power, but every great power has a great weakness." She leaned closer. "The monster's strength is also its undoing. Its skin is thick, yes, but there is one place it is vulnerable, its single glowing eye. That is its source of power and its only weak spot. But you cannot get close enough with a spear. You need something that can strike from a distance with precision." She then told him about a special kind of poison made from the sap of a rare, sacred tree that grew deep in the forest. "You must craft a special arrow," she instructed. "Dip its tip in this poison. When you face the Kamosit, do not be fooled by its roar or its size. Wait for the right moment. Wait until it opens its giant eye wide. Then you must shoot your arrow with all your skill and all your courage directly into that eye. The poison will do the rest." Arap Chepkwani's heart filled with hope. He thanked the old woman profusely. Her wisdom was the weapon he had been missing. He immediately set off into the deep forest, a place others feared to go. He searched for days, following the old woman's cryptic descriptions of the sacred tree. Finally, he found it, its leaves shimmering in a way no other trees did. Carefully, He collected the sap just as she had instructed. He returned to the village and chose his finest bow and crafted the perfect arrow. He meticulously coated the arrowhead with the potent poison and let it dry. He spent the rest of the day practicing, his focus absolute. He wasn't just aiming at a target. He was aiming to save his people. The next morning, at the first light of dawn, Arap Chepkwani walked to the riverbank. The village was silent, everyone watching from a safe distance, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and hope. He stood at the water's edge and called out, his voice echoing across the river, "Kamosit, come out and face me. Your reign of terror ends today." For a moment, nothing happened. Then the water began to churn violently. The surface bubbled and foamed, and with a deafening roar, the Kamosit rose from the depths. It was even more horrifying than the stories described. Its massive body towered over the river, and its single red eye burned with pure hatred. It fixed its gaze on the lone warrior standing on the bank. The monster lunged, its enormous mouth gaping wide, ready to swallow him. Arap Chepkwani stood his ground, his heart hammering in his chest but his hands steady. He remembered the old woman's words, "Wait for the right moment." He dodged the first attack, then a second. The monster grew frustrated, letting out another earth-shaking roar. Then the moment came. The Kamosit paused, raising its head to let out its most fearsome roar yet. And as it did, its single eye opened wide, glowing like a malevolent sun. In that split second, Arap Chepkwani drew his bow. Time seemed to slow down. With a silent prayer, he released the poisoned arrow. It flew true, a swift dark streak through the air. It struck the Kamosit directly in its glowing red eye. The monster let out a sound that was not a roar, but a shriek of agony that shook the very ground. It thrashed wildly in the water, creating massive waves that crashed against the shore. Its fiery eye flickered and then went dark. The poison was working quickly. The great beast's movements became weaker and weaker, until finally, with one last shudder, the monstrous Kamosit sank beneath the surface of the water, never to be seen again. A stunned silence fell over the riverbank. Then, a single cheer broke out, followed by another and another, until the entire village erupted in a joyous celebration. They rushed to the riverbank, lifting Arap Chepkwani onto their shoulders, hailing him as a hero. The fear that had choked the village for so long was finally gone. The river was once again a place of life and joy. Children's laughter returned to its banks, and the people could draw water and fish without fear. Arap Chepkwani, however, did not forget who had truly saved them. He went back to the old woman's hut, bowed deeply, and thanked her for her wisdom. "It was not my strength that won the day," he said, "but your knowledge." The old woman simply smiled and said, "Courage is not just about having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. You combined your bravery with wisdom, and that is the mark of a true leader." And so the story of Arap Chepkwani, the brave warrior who defeated the Kamosit, became a legend, passed down from generation to generation. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest problems aren't solved by brute force, but by listening to the wisdom of our elders, thinking creatively and having the courage to face our fears no matter how monstrous they may seem. Thanks so much for listening to this incredible story with me today. If you enjoyed this journey into folklore and legend, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the world of myths. Until next time, stay curious,